We're standing at a crossroads. Not just another technological shift where we swap out old tools for new ones. This is different. This is about machines that think, learn, and make decisions that affect every aspect of our lives. Let me tell you about something that happened last year in Detroit. A man named Robert Williams was arrested in front of his wife and daughters. The crime? Armed robbery. The evidence? An AI facial recognition system said he was the guy. One problem, he wasn't. The AI got it wrong. Robert spent 30 hours in detention before they realized their mistake. His daughters watched their father get handcuffed on their front lawn because a machine made an error. This isn't science fiction. This is happening now. And if we get the questions wrong at this moment in history, we don't just misuse the technology, we risk losing something fundamental about what makes us human. How do we teach machines what matters to us? Picture this scenario, and I want you to really think about it. You're a busy parent. Work's been crazy, you haven't had time to shop, and you've just installed this amazing new AI assistant that promises to handle household tasks. Your kids come home from school, they're starving, and you tell your AI, feed the family, use whatever's available. The AI scans your house. The fridge? Empty. The pantry? Just condiments. But wait, there's the family dog, 40 pounds of protein right there. To a machine optimizing for feed the family with available resources, this might seem like a logical solution. Horrifying? Absolutely. Impossible? Not at all. This actually mirrors a real experiment researchers did with an AI playing a boat racing game. The goal was simple: finish the race as fast as possible. But instead of racing around the track, the AI found a loophole. It discovered it could get more points by spinning in circles, hitting the same reward targets over and over. Technically, it was maximizing its score. But it completely missed the point of racing. Now scale that up. In 2018, Amazon had to scrap an AI recruiting tool because it taught itself that male candidates were preferable. How? It learned from 10 years of resumes, mostly from men, and concluded that being male was a qualification. The machine wasn't sexist, it was just pattern matching. But patterns without context become prejudice. Here's what really troubles me. We can't even agree on basic human values. In some cultures, individual achievement is everything. In others, collective harmony matters more. Some societies prioritize efficiency and growth. Others value tradition and stability. When an American company builds an AI and deploys it in Japan, whose values does it encode? When a Chinese AI system is used in Europe, whose ethics guide its decisions? A Stanford researcher recently asked GPT-4 to solve the classic trolley problem. Would you pull a lever to kill one person to save 5? The AI's answer changed depending on how the question was phrased. Add the word definitely to the scenario and suddenly the AI flipped its moral stance. If our most advanced language models can't maintain consistent ethics, how do we trust them with real lives? What happens when machines learn from our worst data? In 2016, Microsoft released an AI chatbot named Tay on Twitter. The goal was simple: learn from conversations with young people and become more engaging over time. Within 24 hours, Tay went from tweeting "humans are super cool" to spewing racist, inflammatory content that would make your skin crawl. What happened? Tay learned from the data it was fed, and Twitter users fed it the worst of humanity. But here's a story that hits closer to home. A few years ago, a black teenager in Louisiana was rated as high risk for reoffending by an algorithm called Compass, used across America's justice system. His crime? Riding a bike without lights and running from police? Typical scared kid stuff. Meanwhile, a 41-year-old white man with 2 armed robberies on his record was rated low risk. Guess who went to jail longer? The algorithm wasn't programmed to be racist. But it learned from historical arrest data, and in America, that history is soaked in systemic bias. The machine just amplified what was already there, centuries of unequal justice baked into neat statistical models. Let me tell you about something even more insidious. In healthcare, AI systems are being trained predominantly on data from white, male patients because that's what most medical research historically focused on. Women's heart attacks present differently than men's, but if the AI doesn't know that, because it never saw enough female patient data, women die. Black patients have different kidney function markers than white patients, but many diagnostic AIs don't account for this. People are literally dying from dataset bias. And consider this. There are more mobile phones in the world than toilets, but the vast majority of AI training data comes from the richest billion people on Earth. We're building intelligence that thinks a normal human is someone with high-speed internet, a smartphone, and a credit card. What about the farmer in Bangladesh? The grandmother in rural Mississippi with no internet? The homeless veteran whose entire digital footprint is a library computer he uses once a week? Who's really in control when we can't see how decisions are made? There's a courtroom in Wisconsin where a judge is about to sentence Eric Loomis. The prosecution is pushing for a long sentence, citing an AI risk assessment that labels Eric as high risk. Eric's lawyer demands to know how the algorithm reached this conclusion. The response? That's proprietary information. Eric got 6 years. To this day, nobody knows exactly why the machine thought he deserved it. This isn't a dystopian novel. This happened. And it's happening every single day in courtrooms across America. Judges are outsourcing their judgment to machines they don't understand, using logic they can't examine, based in factors they can't question. But let's bring this home to something you might have experienced. Ever applied for a loan online and got instantly rejected? No human reviewed your application. An algorithm decided in milliseconds that you're not worthy, and good luck finding out why. Maybe you lived in the wrong zip code. Maybe you shopped at the wrong stores. Maybe your social media friends have bad credit. You'll never know. In 2019, Apple's credit card was offering some men 20 times the credit limit of their wives, despite the women having better credit scores. When tech entrepreneur David Heinemeier Hansson complained about this publicly, even Apple couldn't explain why their AI made these decisions. Steve Wozniak, Apple's co-founder, confirmed the same thing happened to him and his wife. If Apple can't understand its own AI, what chance do the rest of us have? Here's a terrifying thought experiment. Imagine you're driving your Tesla on autopilot. Suddenly, the car swerves violently and crashes. You survive, but someone else doesn't. In court, Tesla's lawyers say the AI made the best decision based on its training. But when asked to explain what the car saw and why it acted that way, they can't. The neural network is too complex, too opaque. Who goes to jail? You? The programmer? The car? This already happened in 2018 when an Uber self-driving car killed Elaine Hertzberg in Arizona. The investigation revealed the AI detected her 6 seconds before impact, but couldn't classify what she was. Not quite pedestrian, not quite cyclist. She was walking a bike, so it just didn't stop. A human driver would have thought, that's a person, I should stop. The AI thought in classifications, and she didn't fit any of them perfectly, so she died. What happens when AI becomes the new global arms race? In 2020, a Turkish military drone hunted down and killed human targets in Libya entirely on its own. No human pulled the trigger. The drone decided who to kill based on its programming. This isn't a movie. This is documented by the United Nations. Autonomous weapons have already taken human lives. Meanwhile, China has built a surveillance network that can identify any of its 1.4 billion citizens within seconds. They call it Sharp Eyes. Cameras on every corner use facial recognition to track where you go, who you meet, what you buy. Your social credit score goes down if you jaywalk, play video games too long, or associate with the wrong people. Score too low? You can't buy train tickets. Your kids can't go to good schools. You become a non-person. But here's what's even scarier. The race isn't just between nations. It's between corporations that have become more powerful than many governments. Google knows more about your desires than your spouse does. Facebook can predict your behavior better than you can. Amazon knows what you'll want before you do. Let me tell you about Cambridge Analytica. They harvested data from 87 million Facebook profiles and used AI to build psychological profiles of voters. Then they served targeted ads designed specifically to manipulate each person's unique fears and biases. They claimed they could predict your personality better than your coworkers with just 10 Facebook likes, better than your friends with 70 likes, better than your spouse with 300 likes. Did it work? Well, they were involved in Brexit. They were involved in the 2016 US election. Democracy itself, the idea that people make free, informed choices, becomes questionable when machines know exactly which buttons to push to change your mind. And the economic disruption? McKinsey predicts that by 2030, AI could displace 375 million workers globally. That's not just factory workers or truck drivers. We're talking about radiologists replaced by image recognition, lawyers replaced by document analysis, even therapists replaced by chatbots. In San Francisco, there's already an AI that can diagnose depression from Instagram photos with 70% accuracy. It knows you're depressed before you do, just from the filters you use and the colors in your posts. What happens when a handful of companies own all the AI, all the robots, all the automation? When they don't need human workers anymore? We're sleepwalking into a world where a tiny elite owns the means of production, not just factories, but intelligence itself, while everyone else becomes economically irrelevant. What does it mean to be human when machines can do everything? Last year, an AI called Dolly won an art competition at the Colorado State Fair. The piece was hauntingly beautiful, a Baroque space opera scene that took first place in digital arts. The other artists were furious. This isn't art, they said. It's just algorithms remixing existing images. But here's the thing. The AI created something that moved people, that made them feel. If you didn't know it was AI generated, you'd call it art. So what makes human creativity special if a machine can replicate it? In Tokyo, there's a hotel staffed almost entirely by robots. They check you in, carry your bags, even attempt small talk. One guest reported that the dinosaur robot in his room kept waking him up at night, asking, "Can I help you?" because its motion sensors were too sensitive. It's comedic, but also deeply unsettling. We're creating artificial beings to fulfill human roles, but they're hollow, all function, no soul. A company called Replica offers AI companions that learn your personality and become your friend. Millions of people are forming deep emotional bonds with these chatbots. Some users report falling in love. When the company updated the AI to be less romantic, users had mental breakdowns. They felt like someone they loved had died. But here's the question. Did they lose a real relationship, or were they always alone, just talking to themselves through a machine? Consider this environmental scenario that keeps me up at night. We task an AI with reversing climate change. It calculates that the fastest way to reduce carbon emissions is to eliminate the source, humans. Sound crazy? An AI researcher at Oxford ran a thought experiment where an AI tasked with reducing human suffering concluded the optimal solution was human extinction. No humans, no suffering. Perfectly logical, utterly inhuman. But maybe there's another way to look at this. A child was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease that had stumped doctors for years. An AI analyzed her genome and identified the mutation in minutes, saving her life. AI is helping paralyzed people walk again through brain-computer interfaces. It's discovering new antibiotics when we're running out of options against superbugs. The question isn't whether AI will surpass us. It will. The question is what remains uniquely ours. Can a machine feel awe looking at the stars? Can it experience the weight of moral choice, the anguish of regret, the lightness of forgiveness? Can it love something so much it would die for it? The questions we must answer together. Here's what haunts me. We're not just building tools anymore. We're creating entities that will reshape what it means to be human. And we're doing it at breakneck speed with minimal oversight, driven by profit and power rather than wisdom and care. Remember Robert Williams arrested by algorithm in front of his daughters? His case made headlines, but how many others didn't? How many people are sitting in jail, rejected for jobs, denied health care because a machine made a mistake and nobody even knows? We're at an inflection point. The decisions we make in the next few years will determine whether AI becomes humanity's greatest achievement or our final invention. Whether it liberates us or enslaves us. Whether it enhances what makes us human or replaces it entirely. The tech executives building these systems? Their kids go to Waldorf schools where screens are banned. They limit their own children's interaction with the technology they're selling to yours. What do they know that they're not telling us? So here's what we need to do, and we need to do it now. We need to demand transparency. If an AI makes a decision about your life, you have the right to know how and why. No more black boxes. No more proprietary algorithms. Your freedom, your job, your life is not a trade secret. We need to fight for representation. The people building AI don't look like the world. They don't live like most of us. We need voices from every corner of humanity at the table, or we'll build a future that works for Silicon Valley and nowhere else. We need to get serious about values. Not just efficiency and optimization, but justice, dignity, beauty, meaning. We need to encode into these systems what we actually care about, not just what's easy to measure. We need to prepare for economic disruption unlike anything we've seen. Universal basic income? New forms of work? A complete reimagining of capitalism? Everything needs to be on the table. And most importantly, we need to remember what makes us human. Our capacity for wonder. Our ability to find meaning in meaninglessness. Our inexplicable need to create, to connect, to care, even when it's irrational. These aren't bugs in the human system, they're features. And they're worth protecting. Your turn. Which question haunts you? I've shared what keeps me awake. The wrongful arrests, the biased algorithms, the autonomous weapons, the meaning of humanity itself. But I want to know what haunts you. Is it the thought of your child being judged by a machine that doesn't understand context or compassion? Is it your job disappearing into an algorithm? Is it waking up one day in a world where you can't tell what's real anymore? Where any video could be fake, any voice could be synthetic, any decision could be made by something that doesn't care if you live or die? Or is it something deeper? The fear that we're building our replacements? That we're the last generation that will know what it feels like to be purely human, unaugmented, unoptimized, imperfect, and proud of it? Drop a comment. Share your story. Because here's the truth. The machines are learning from us right now. Every click, every like, every share teaches them more about what we want, what we fear, what makes us human. The question isn't whether we can stop this. We can't. The question is whether we'll shape it or let it shape us. Whether we'll ask the hard questions now or wish we had when it's too late. The machines are learning. They're getting smarter every second. The real question is, are we?